They called him Ash. He was the boy with no surname, no inheritance, no power, a mere servant in the grand halls of the Silverfang kingdom. From the moment of his birth, he had been marked as an Omega, weaker, submissive, and destined for servitude under the Alphas and Betas who ruled the land. In the hierarchy of the wolves, Omegas were nothing more than expendable tools, bodies to be worked until they broke, voices meant only to obey. Ash knew this truth intimately. Every scar on his back, every bruise on his arms, every night he slept cold in the straw of the servants' quarters reminded him of his place. He was the boy others mocked when they needed entertainment, the boy nobles ordered around when they wanted to assert their superiority. To most, he was invisible. To the cruel, he was their favorite toy. But Ash harbored something no one else saw, a fire that refused to die. The Silverfang kingdom thrived on its strength. Its pride lay in the feral wolf bond, a sacred connection between noble bloodlines and the colossal wolves that roamed the Shadowfang woods. Only those of royal or warrior lineage could claim the bond, for the wolves were too fierce, too wild, too brutal for common blood to endure. It was said that the wolves chose their masters, sensing the strength within. An Omega servant had no hope of being chosen. And yet, fate was never kind, nor predictable. The day it all began was during the Festival of Strength, when the royal family gathered their court, warriors, and servants into the grand courtyard to witness the yearly displays of dominance. At the center stood Prince Kale, the future king of Silverfang. His hair was as black as the midnight forest, his amber eyes sharp like burning fire. His wolf, Vera, prowled at his side, a monstrous beast of shadows and fangs, untamable and feared even by seasoned warriors. Vera was said to have killed 3 men in his first year of bonding, his wildness uncontrollable even for the prince. But Kale loved the challenge. He thrived on being the master of something no one else could touch. "Gather here, people of Silverfang," the herald cried. "Behold your prince and his wolf. And let all who think themselves strong step forward for the trials." The crowd roared. Warriors flexed their arms, nobles smirked, servants scurried with food and drink. Ash, carrying a tray of goblets, tried to remain invisible among the chaos. Then the laughter began. "Look there, the little Omega," sneered Lord Rithar, one of the court's crueler nobles. He pointed directly at Ash. Can you imagine him facing a wolf? He'd be torn to shreds before he even blinked. The crowd erupted with cruel laughter. Ash kept his eyes down, his fists trembling. He wanted to ignore it, to walk away, but Rithar's voice grew louder. "Perhaps the prince should test his beast on this servant. Let us see how long the Omega lasts before he begs for mercy." More laughter. The tray in Ash's hands shook. Prince Kale's amber gaze swept the crowd, then lingered on Ash. There was no mockery in his eyes, only something cold and unreadable. Slowly, he stepped forward, Vera prowling behind him. The courtyard fell silent. "You would mock him for weakness." Kale's voice was low but carried across the stone. "Then let us see whether he is weak, or whether he has a strength none of you can fathom." The crowd shifted uneasily. Ash's heart pounded in his chest. Kale stopped in front of him. His eyes bore into Ash's like molten fire. Then, with a voice that could have been either mercy or cruelty, he said, "Tame my wolf, Omega, and I'll crown you as more than a servant." The courtyard gasped. Ash froze. His mind screamed at him to refuse, to bow, to beg for his life. No servant had ever been given such an impossible task. Vera was a nightmare made flesh, muscles rippling, teeth like daggers, eyes glowing with wild hunger. To approach him was to embrace death. But deep in Ash's chest, the fire flickered. They had laughed at him, mocked him, treated him as nothing. Here, now, was a chance, foolish, impossible, but a chance, to prove them wrong. Ash set down the tray. His hands trembled, but he lifted his chin. "I accept." A stunned silence swept the courtyard. Then whispers rose like storm winds. "Madness. He'll be torn apart. An Omega dares." Prince Kale's lips curved into something almost like a smile. "Very well," he said. "Step forward." Ash's legs felt like lead, but he forced himself toward the beast. Vera snarled, his fur bristling, saliva dripping from his fangs. Every instinct screamed at Ash to run. But he didn't. He couldn't. The fire inside him demanded he keep walking. He met the wolf's burning gaze. Something in his chest pulsed, a strange thrum, like a heartbeat not his own. Vera lunged. Gasps echoed through the crowd. Ash didn't flinch. Instead, he extended his hand. The wolf's fangs stopped an inch from his throat. The world held its breath. Vera snarled, but his eyes widened, confusion flickering within them. Ash's trembling fingers brushed the wolf's muzzle. A spark of something ancient surged between them, a bond neither understood. The courtyard erupted in shouts. It cannot be. Impossible. He's an Omega. No wolf would. But Vera lowered his head. Slowly, obediently, as though bowing. Prince Kale's eyes widened ever so slightly, then narrowed, calculating. Ash's chest heaved. He had done the impossible. The wolf had not killed him. He had touched the untamable. The world would never see him the same way again.